This video, I'm going to be sharing with you the truth on time with the law of attraction. I'm going to show you some ways of quote unquote speeding up the process so that you experience what you want faster than ever. Welcome back to another video. My name's Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how you can speed up the process of the law of attraction, understanding a completely new model of time and a way for integrating time into your life, this understanding that will help you let go of really creating more distance or more of a gap between where you are and where you want to be. Now, this is going to be rooted in an understanding. You may have read the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Toley, and in that book, it's the power of now. There really is no idea, there is an idea of it, but the idea of the past is something that exists in the mind because the only moment is now. And this is something that we can see that the past and the future both are projections of consciousness. They're projections of the mind because when it was the past, it was this moment now. And when it will be the quote unquote future, it'll be this moment right now. Our brain can use our imagination for the future or our memory for the past, but those only exist in the mind. So the idea of the question of how long will it take for me to create this in my life, that's under the presumption or under the premise that we are going in a linear time-space type mentality. Now, of course, we're having a linear time-space reality experience, but remember, it's an experience. Now, many times what happens is the more you focus on anything, the more it grows. The more you focus on time, the more the time appears to be there. Maybe you've experienced this before. Have you ever had it to where you're doing something and time just flies by? There's sometimes I'm filming videos and I'll film 2 or 3 videos and I'll look down, it's been 2.5 hours. And it's like, where did that time go? Because I got into a flow state and because this is what I love to do. There's times I'm editing and I'm not the most passionate editor. I'm not like, oh, this is so amazing. But I get into a flow state and time will just fly by. It'll be an hour or two goes by, feels like 10 minutes. So time doesn't really exist in those experiences because we're in a natural state. We're in a vibration of a flow state. Now, have you ever had it on the other side of that where maybe I remember I used to work a job I wasn't that crazy passionate about. And I remember sometimes the more I would check my watch, the more time I would create. The more experience I would have of, an hour left of work, 55 minutes left of work, 48 minutes left of work, 43 minutes left of work. You see, over and over and over again, I would look at it and create more of it. Now, the thing with time is that at an empirical and at a fundamental basis, time doesn't exist in the way that we think it does. Time exists as an experience, as a benchmark we can use for reference. We can say, hey, I'll meet you at 8 o'clock on Tuesday. And you go, yeah, jippers. And then you guys go meet at 8 o'clock on Tuesday. Now, it's convenient, but at the fundamental level, the experience of it all exists now. Now, this gets really interesting because this is when we then talk about parallel realities, which is something I've been sharing on the channel. Now, let me ask you a question. When you're manifesting what you want, doesn't it feel hard that you have to create your own reality, that you got to create it as if it doesn't already exist, as if you've got to have some type of magic marker that you pull out of your backpack and you start creating a whole circumstance and a whole bunch of people and everything? If you had to create the perfect partner, how much that sounds like a big job that you got to do. You got to create the perfect partner, a relationship. You see, that's not how it works. That person already exists. In the same way, understanding parallel realities, understanding that every reality we can possibly imagine exists right now, it is simply vibrating at a different frequency. We can then see it's less about having to create it, it's more about choosing it from a set of options. So this is under the understanding that there's an infinite number of parallel realities that exist. This is what quantum physics is showing us, by the way. This isn't something I'm just pulling out. It's wouldn't it be nice? This is something that science is pointing at and quantum physics is seriously studying. So knowing that we exist within many different frames of reality, just like I could, after this video, stretch out the editing film of it like this, in the computer, and I could see the different frames, and there's different frames. You'll see me going like this. You'll see my eyes really wide, like this. And you could stop it at different points, at different movements, and they all look like separate, different frames. But when I'm editing them, they are in the same, they all exist at the same time. Just like as I'm editing it, they're all there as I'm filming it, but I can play it and it'll go like, oh, this is me speaking. You see what I mean? So the idea behind this, understanding that time is an illusion. Time is something that we create when we keep talking about it and we keep looking into it. What if we were just more in a flow state? We were just doing what we love. That's what brings me to my first point. The first part of this process is understanding that if you're wondering how long it will take you to manifest something, it's coming from the mind and not from the heart. It's not coming from the state of being. If you focus more instead on the manifestation itself and you focus on the person you will become, you will paradoxically enough create less time in the experience. So let me say that again in a little bit different way. We don't attract in life that which we want. We attract in life that which we are. Because if we go just for that thing, we may just temporarily get that thing, but it will subside. It'll be like the waves coming in from the ocean, and they come in and then they go. They come in and they go. But if we make it a part of who we are, it will be a permanent type thing. Because then even if it does, quote unquote, go, we can recreate it because it's the kind of person that we are. When you ask successful people, you say, hey, what would you do? People always ask, hey, what would you do if you lost all your millions of dollars? What do they say? They always say the same thing. They say, I would go and create it again. Like, I know how to make millions of dollars. Like, I would just go do the same. I would go do what works and I would figure it out again. So it's because they've become that kind of person. Even me with what I've been doing in my life. As I have a certain focus in my life and I realize what I can do, it expands my horizons. I'm like, oh, if I could do this, then I could probably do other stuff. So this is about understanding that also. Okay, so let me just kind of close that loop. The idea is to focus on the person you will become. Because when you focus on what you're passionate about with who you are becoming, that's when everything begins to change. That's when time doesn't really matter. As much as I'd like to be traveling the world and doing these big old seminars and all that stuff, I know it's going to eventually happen. I'm just going through the process right now of building a foundation before I move into that in the next 6 months or so. So I have a certain process to it, but I'm not like, I need to be over there. It's taking so much time. I'm like, no, I'm enjoying the day-to-day basis stuff. I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now. You see, life is like a journey. Imagine this is like a journey. This is life. Now, normally, we're like, want to get here, want to get here, want to get here. But if we just want to get here, then guess what? We are skipping a whole bunch of stuff along the way that could actually be very enjoyable. It's like if you were going to, what's that Alan Watts quote? It's like you're going to a music to watch an orchestra, and you're listening to this beautiful music, and you're like, just get to the end, get to the climax, get to the end. It's like, well, it's about the whole music, the whole different crescendos and the decrescendos and all the different type of notes and everything, and it all combined together makes a great harmony, a great orchestra type music. But if you're like, just get to the end, it's like going to watch a good movie, and you're like, just get to the end where he dies. It's like, come on, man, just watch the whole movie. Enjoy the story. Enjoy the process, just like your life. Enjoy the process. How long will it take? The more you worry about the time, the more of the experience of time you will create. The more time you focus on, the more you create it. That's why everything I'm sharing with you today, it's about looking at it a little bit differently so that you change the question itself, so that paradoxically, I still want to get you to that end result. I still want you to create the less of the experience of time, but you create less time when you enjoy the moment. You create less time when you are immersed in the process. You create less time when you are more focused on what and who you are than focused on the future potentiality of who you may be one day. So this is a journey. Now, let me ask you another question. All these questions today. Now, when you ask yourself, you can get in alignment to your beliefs for how long things will take for you by asking yourself certain questions. For example, do I believe that within this period of time, do I believe within a year, I'm going to be traveling the world to be giving big seminars? Do I believe that in a year? If I ask myself the question and I center myself, I could see if there's a yes or no answer. It's possible, but maybe it's like, I don't know, I'm not sure about that, which means normally no. So then I could say, okay, within 8 months. How about within 6 months? Could I, or okay, so you go the other way. Sorry, my bad. So if I said 6 months and I was like, maybe, maybe not, I think that it's most likely going to happen in like 6 to 8 months. You see, by asking myself the question, I can see where I feel comfortable under my current belief system. So you could say to yourself, maybe if you're working a 9-to-5 job you don't really care for right now, and you're like, okay, I want to do my passion for a living. My passion is making art. Do I think I can go full-time in the next, let's say, year? Yes, I think for sure in the next year I can make that happen. Okay, that means your beliefs are in alignment with that. Then you could say, okay, do I think I could do it in 9 months? You say, yeah, I think I could do it in 9 months. Do you think that you could do it in 6 months? Yeah, I think I could do it in 6 months. And you keep asking yourself this question, and then you'll eventually get to 3 months. You're like, 3 months, do I think I could do it in 3 months? You see, you start to develop this resistance around it. You're like, I don't know if I could do it in 3 months. I know probably 6 months I could do it. That's when you found the barrier of where your belief is on how long you think it will take. So this is how you tap into the subconscious mind and are able to see how long your beliefs think it will take you, how long under your current belief system it will take you. But then what you could do is you could change those beliefs, because those beliefs are not set. They're just an inner guidance of where you currently are. So what you could do is you could look at it from a little bit different perspective, and you could find people that have done it in a shorter amount of time. You can find people that have already accomplished that and then study them, and you see, oh, somebody did it in 2 months. Oh, more awareness is power. If I would have known what I know about the online YouTube and all of this stuff back a year ago when I was at a 9-to-5 job selling women's shoes back in February 2017, I didn't go full-time till August. I could have gone full-time in probably June, May, but I didn't know all of this stuff about online. I didn't know about the back end of a business. I didn't know that I could just coach like 10, 12 people and that would be plenty of a full-time income. But I thought it was like this long process. I was like, oh, when you're on YouTube, you got to have 100,000 subscribers, then you go full-time. But it doesn't work like that. It's more of the awareness of how things work, and then you figure it out. You see, that's why awareness is power. So I found other people that were already having a very successful business with less subscribers than I had at the time, because at the time I had like 60,000 subscribers. I was like, well, if they're doing it, I could do it too. And then what I did is I connected with some of them. I said, yo, buddy, dude, how do you do that? And they're like, yo, this is how we do that. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to try that too. So then I did that, and then I went, within like a month of knowing that, I was able to go full time. But I could have done it much sooner if I would have known. The reason I'm telling you all of this stuff is because the beliefs will go into this process, you understanding what you believe to be true. The other part of this process is understanding that time doesn't even exist anyways. Time is something we create from a point of experience, but the only moment that exists is this moment right now. So if you're asking the question, how long will it take? In the question itself of how long it will take, it's creating more of that time. So my encouragement to you is to focus more on the passion for what you are currently doing. Focus on the kind of person you will become. And as you focus on the kind of person you will become, all of this stuff will happen easier anyways. Like the stuff I'm trying to tell you right now is not just like, oh, can you just give me the answer? The answer is, that's not the focus. The focus is the person you will become, the passion. But I'm getting you to the same end result. The end result is you experiencing things in a much more blissful state and things appearing to go by faster because you are enjoying the moment. I guess my main intention is to help you enjoy the main moment more and to understand that life is a journey. Like, think about this. What if, just what if, let's get a little deeper. Let's go down the rabbit hole. Let's look at things a little bit deeper. What if in higher dimensional states of consciousness, right? We've seen that Power versus Force book that I always show with the different levels of consciousness. What was that? What if in a higher realm of consciousness, we're able to manifest things instantly? We think it's there. What if that's normally the case? But what we do, that's in more of a higher dimensional state of consciousness. Probably when we go to bed at night, we're more awake to those states. That's why in your dreams, things may happen. Now, what if when we come into this life, which is more of what we could call the 4D life experience, when we come here, we agree that things are going to happen a little bit slower. Things aren't going to happen as fast. Here, we want to really think and feel and focus to then see things manifest, rather than have it come immediately. Because there's a little bit more of an enjoyment in the process. There's a little bit more to learn when there's a little bit more of a gap between here, because think about it. With how many people think, if they were to instantly manifest what they want, there'd be a lot of random stuff in the world. There'd be a lot of stuff just everywhere. And it would almost be like we'd have to focus on decreating the things that we created, if that makes sense. Because there'd be so much stuff if everything instantly happened. So in our reality, what I believe we've done is we've agreed to certain quote-unquote rule sets. One of the rule sets was, first off, we're immortal spiritual beings living temporary human experiences. We choose to come here for a learning lesson. Life is a form of dream, a very long, consistent dream, but nonetheless a dream. And I believe in a higher reality, we're dreaming that we're here right now, and that when we die at the end of this life, we wake up in a higher level of perception. But nonetheless, one of the rule sets here was that things were going to be something we had the ability to really finesse, to really see how the process goes, to feel through it, and then to create in that way. So things don't happen instantaneously, but they can, and they can happen faster. That's why it's about getting present to the moment. When you get present to the moment, your vibration increases, and then things happen even easier. That's why a lot of people are going through this expansion of consciousness, because the more awareness you have, the easier it is to experience what you want in your life. So the crazy thing is that from this deeper level of perception, from a deeper level of consciousness, we may be, right now in this moment, sleeping in a higher dimensional realm of consciousness, dreaming that this is me, Aaron, on YouTube, and this is everyone else that may be watching, and this is who we are. But at a fundamental level, we are so much more. And I believe that when I die in this life, I'm going to wake up at a higher level of perception. That's just the feeling I get. That's just my sense of the process. Who knows? Could be way off. Nonetheless, I'm just giving you these kind of understandings because I believe that they can be powerful. And I believe the more we become present to the moment, the more we enjoy this life experience, the more that we focus on the passion, the more we focus on the kind of person that we could become, the more we focus on letting go of the beliefs that don't serve, the more that things happen faster anyways. The biggest paradox of the whole process. So, with all of that being said, another thing that I did is if you want to speed up time super duper fast, if you raise your vibration, that also speeds up the time. You'll manifest things much faster. That's why I've created a free guided meditation that will show you exactly how you can raise your vibrational set point so that you create things easier than ever, so that you exist in a higher state of consciousness. It is absolutely free, and you can download it in the top of the description box below. Also, I'm going to be doing more daily posts in Instagram. Plus, I do live Q&As. Plus, sometimes I do these little live meditations. I do daily IGTV episodes. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, I highly, highly recommend it. It's going to be right here. Boom! You can download. You can click on it. And yeah. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the little notification gear so that you can see the daily vids that I do. And other than that, as always, peace, much love, namaste.